Okay. It's looking like the volume wasn't even on, so let me make sure that you guys can hear me now. You guys can hear me, right? Right? All right, bet. I know you guys can hear me now because I see the mic audio actually coming through. What's good, y'all? We on stream week, day 6 for another stream about personal and professional development. We got to clap that up real quick. Hold, what my applause sound effect? Yeah. That's something to clap up on, man. We ain't on here clowning around. We ain't on here acting a fool for likes. We ain't promoting the stuff that the devil would like us to promote. We promoting positivity and growth, growing ourselves personally and professionally. And occasionally when I stream, I do react to TikToks that can be goofy and sometimes a little inappropriate. So God forgive me. I'm not perfect, and I do know that I can't goof around sometimes, but I made sure that this live stream is specifically for those who want to grow, who want to be a better version of themselves today than they were yesterday, and want to be a better version of themselves tomorrow than they were today. That is what these live streams are for. So, what is today's topic, y'all? What is today's topic? Well, I actually got my live stream pulled up behind me on the screen that y'all can't see. But today's topic is about a counselor's own struggle, own battle with mental health. And I want to get deep with y'all. When people think mental health, they think of somebody struggling with something to where they go see a counselor. But what happened when a counselor himself struggles with their mental health? I'm a counselor, and I want to talk to you about my story and exactly how ironic it was that myself, a counselor, struggles with his own mental health. This is not a scripted video. I want to get real vulnerable and open with you guys. So I'm just going to be cutting out a lot of the silences, the pauses, and the bad takes, but this is completely raw and unedited. So if you guys care about your mental health, as well as your personal professional development in the areas of faith, family, fitness, and finances, make sure that you like this video, subscribe, and comment down below a heart emoji. A heart emoji to show support of all those that struggle with mental health, because we're at the end of Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. And I'm going to be honest, I personally ain't seen enough people doing enough about bringing awareness to the fact that men are struggling out here. Every single day, multiple. And I can't even think of the statistic. Every single day, I know multiple men die from unaliving themselves. So I want to bring awareness that the men that are out there that are struggling, you are not alone. And I want to be transparent with you and telling you as a counselor, my battle with mental health and how I struggle with it, even to this day right now. I'm getting real vulnerable because right now is a very sensitive time in which I have struggled with mental health again. But I want to make sure that this is really something that I open up to you guys about, so you know you're not alone. You're not alone in trying to fight this every single day. It feels like you're getting up and you're battling just to get the regular things done, to get the regular day-to-day tasks done. They used to feel so easy, but you're struggling. You're not alone. So I want to first start out by explaining my first experience with mental health, which was before I was ever a counselor, way back in high school, when I didn't even know what I wanted to do in life yet. I want you to imagine me back in high school. I was the awkward kid who never really fit in, but I did know how to focus on something if I really liked it. And for me back in high school, that was basketball. So I focused on playing basketball, and I started out not being able to score 10 points in a season, and then ultimately started averaging 10 plus points and 10 plus rebounds a game, having the highest field goal percentage on any team that I played for. And that was going so well for me. I had went from a kid who had just started playing basketball in 8th grade to being at one of the top 10 high schools in the state of Illinois, and recruited to the top 10 high schools in Chicago to go ahead and play basketball at a high level. But everything was about to change in my life, and I didn't even know it. I ended up my junior year of high school getting into one of my first serious relationships. This girl who I saw the world in. We were friends at first, but ultimately the friendship turned into something different. It turned into a real relationship where I thought everything that I had ever thought about girls was going to be affirmed. You know, when you're watching TV as a kid, as an awkward kid myself, when I was in Chicago, I wasn't let outside the house. So all I saw when it came to interacting with girls outside of school was the Disney princesses and the amazing, nice women on TV, and how it was cool to be in a relationship because two people seemed to care about each other to where they would never seek to harm or do anything that would harm the other. But life told me real quick that that wasn't true. Shortly into the relationship, things ended abruptly, and I didn't know why. It turns out that this lady was cheating on me. And not only did she cheat on me with another person, she actually went and got back intimately with her ex. And I was broken when I found this out. The only reason I found this out is because later on, after that break period, we got back together, and I thought things were all good until she opened up and told me about what happened during the period that we were apart. I was devastated. And you think this is what got to my mental health experience, but I'm telling you, that's coming later. So just give me a second. It devastated me. A lover boy like me who acted and did musical theater and wrote music and songs about love and all these different things, got into the real world, and my expectations didn't meet the reality of imperfect people being the only people there are in this world. It's not TV. But later on into the relationship, as I was trying to build a level of trust back with this person, they started to struggle with their mental health. They had gone through their own traumas that made them into the person that they were. Things that I had never thought about, things I had never thought were a reality in certain people's situation turned out to be a reality in hers. And she started having thoughts of harming herself and actually doing it too. I was devastated. I was starting to have those same thoughts, those same emotions. Something I didn't understand at the time was common for people who have depression and all these different unaliving type thoughts. And I started having them too. And at the time I was young, I wasn't 18 yet. I wasn't even 17 yet. And I was trying to navigate these world of the reality of imperfect people and emotions. And I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't Do it because I was about to suffer because of my caring about somebody else that ultimately hurt me in the first place. And that's what made me realize how important and how real mental health is. When you can care about someone who's struggling with something, but because you care about them, you start struggling too. That was my first introduction to mental health. And realizing that just because you care about someone, if you're not prepared to be there for them, understanding how to be there for them, and be there for them in the way that they need, that it's sometimes best for you to go. So unfortunately, even during her toughest time, I had to break that relationship apart. But in retrospect, it was probably the best thing that I did, because as somebody who's now educated as a counselor, I know that the things that I was doing back then was not supportive of this person improving their mental health. But I wanted to share that story so you guys know that before I was a counselor, that was my first introduction to realizing mental health is real. Mental health is a serious topic that everybody should be educated on, because you don't care about it until it happens to you or happens to somebody who's your loved one who's struggling every single day. Conscious negative thoughts, rumination, and the negative spirit that attaches to you when you actually are struggling. I want to make sure that everybody who even walks the face of this planet doesn't go by and walk by another individual without understanding that it's possible that person could be struggling with something in their mind that you have nothing to do with and that you don't know about. But just taking a second and asking them, are you okay? And is there anything that's been on your mind that you haven't had anyone to talk about? And giving them a second of your time, a minute of your time, or some of your time to just talk about that. That could change somebody's entire situation. But that was my first experience with mental health. So now you may ask, how did you actually become a counselor? If back then you didn't know what you wanted to do, well, that's the second thing I'm about to get into. Why I made the decision to become a counselor. When I was in high school, all I could think about was basketball. But I did know that if I wasn't going to play basketball my entire life, the one thing that I was going to do is make sure that I got into the medical field. I always saw how much anesthesiologists makes, the people that give you the medicine and put you to sleep doing surgery. Yeah, that's what I wanted to be. But then I realized that those people go to school for about 10 plus years before they actually get paid any good money. And I realized I'm not doing 10 more years of school. Nowhere in the world, especially as hard and rigorous and challenging as medical school. I'd much rather pick a different profession. So when I graduated high school, I graduated doing 2020. When I thought I was going to school to play basketball and go to the top school down in Arizona that was recruiting me, everything, all plans ceased in a moment when the COVID-19 pandemic started and I couldn't travel because I wasn't allowed by my parents to the school that was recruiting me. I was devastated. I was picking and grabbing at different opportunities, trying to figure out what I was good at. At one point, I was working 4 different jobs, getting sleep 4 hours a night and waking up and doing it all over again just so I could figure out something to not only make money and feel productive, but something to replace the hole that basketball had left in my life at the time. I finally decided that there's one thing that I've always been good at. One thing that I actually developed being good at that most people didn't know. And that was speaking. That was listening, and that was understanding people and the struggles that they went through. What most people don't know about me is that I grew up on the south side of Chicago majority of my childhood, and to move into the suburbs once my dad's business started doing well. I got to experience what it was like to grow up in the inner city, but also what it was like to grow up in the suburbs. 2 people, completely different backgrounds, different problems, but still struggling. I got to see what it was like in both situations to where I now had a really good ability to talk to people, understand them, empathize with them, and talk them through their problems. And a lot of my friends would actually come to me for that. So I decided to go ahead and start working as a counselor. And that was my decision to work as a counselor. And also on top of that, I'm sure subconsciously, there was a little bit of thought in the back of my mind about the situation that happened in the past and how I realized with my first experience in mental health that people are really struggling, and people need someone who's going to understand how to properly support them in their times of mental distress. But lastly, now that we done talked about my first experience in mental health and why I made the decision to become a counselor, I want to get deep into why I actually struggle with mental health to this day, even as a counselor, and what I'm doing to better myself and my mental health. And that is learning to detach and value yourself. As a counselor, one of the hardest things you're going to have to do is detach from your clients. Your clients can go through some of the toughest situations. You can sit and listen to them. You can give them the correspondence that they need to feel safe and to work through their problems, and give them the resources that they need to make actual change in their lives. But the one thing you'll have to do is detach when you see them struggling, stumbling, and falling, and knowing exactly what they could do to help themselves, but they just don't do it. Detaching is something I can do when it comes to my clients, my patients, but what I found it very hard to do is detach from those that I love. I found over the years that getting close to friends, family, and loved ones, I have become someone who has had a huge heart. And with having that huge heart, I have struggled to stop myself from caring about people who hurt me. Everyone in this world has flaws, and that's something that we should understand. But in order to live, you have to learn how to navigate people's flaws and find someone who's willing to work through their issues and work through their own problems to accommodate you as well as you doing the same for them. But one of the things that I've always struggled with is actually doing that when it comes to those that I love. I've been the type of person in my life, in the dating arena and in the friendship arena, to have people do things that hurt me, but I don't say anything because I forgive so quickly and just hope that they'll do better. I'm the type of person that, despite being done wrong, will try his very best to make sure that I don't respond back in a malicious way. I haven't been perfect by any means, but despite all the things that I've been through, I don't treat other people based on the negative experiences that I've had in my past. I don't treat other people based on the negative experience I've had in my past, but based on who they are and who they show me they are. The hardest thing in life is realizing that sometimes people carry baggage that has nothing to do with you into your situation with them, and they hurt you because of it. And my mental health is severely struggled because of this realization. You can have this realization as much as you want. Throughout life, you can have this realization 10, 30, hundreds of times when it comes to dealing with people. But the hardest thing is to internalize it. Detach yourself from people who aren't willing to grow and move past their past baggage. And value yourself just a little bit more so that the next time you come across somebody who seems like they're going to change, seems like they want to do better, but actually don't, you just leave immediately so that you don't have to feel bad about someone else's baggage. And it's okay to care about somebody from a distance. As I'm talking to you, I'm talking to myself. It's okay to care about somebody from a distance. Sometimes that's what you need to do because everybody isn't meant to be up close and personal with the amazing individual that you are. Sometimes they let the past baggage stop them from giving their whole authentic 100% honest self to you in relationships and in friendships and in business partnerships, whatever you want to talk about. And somebody like me who has a lot of empathy, who believes in God, that I should forgive somebody a lot, I struggle with detaching myself from people who have hurt me and not proven that they're willing to change. That is something that has been the root cause of my mental health struggles over the years. And the one thing that I'm talking to you about that I'm still working through today is understanding it's okay to care about someone from a distance. Detach. Value yourself first and make sure that you only surround yourself with people who genuinely and wholeheartedly love you, want to be honest with you, want to make sure that they don't bring anything negative into your life. Because there's a lot of people carrying around demons that they have not worked through. And as a counselor, I will help my clients and my patients all day leave work and not carry it on my heart because I know that I did what I needed to do that day. But with the people you love, the people you can contact, you can call them on the phone, you can FaceTime them whenever you would like. Those can be the hardest people to just accept that they don't want to change, that the demons that they are carrying around, they're not taking action and it's starting to hurt you. You have to be able to leave. You have to understand that you are just as valuable as they are. And if they can't see that and change for themselves, they definitely can't see that when it comes to changing for you. So that's the last thing when it comes to my own struggle with mental health. And the first story being about how I actually started having self-deletion thoughts and going into why I became a counselor, and also the thing I'm still learning today, but the root cause of all of my mental health struggles over the years. If you like this video, and if you like personal and professional development around the areas of faith, family, fitness, and finances, go ahead and DM me on Instagram at It's Kuye. And you can DM me asking to join my mastermind where I have guest speakers, top executives, CEOs, different people in business and professionals that can teach you some of the life lessons that they learn. So you don't have to learn everything for the first time. You can be like a wise person and look for people who've learned the lessons already. So you don't have to fail and hit your head hard on the floor alone. Seek wisdom in this life and you won't have to go through anything alone. That's it for today's live stream. I really, really hope that you guys like today's episode. We're on stream weekday 6. This was an amazing topic. And tomorrow will be the final day of stream week. Hope you guys like this video. Like, subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.